What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Back with my segment, What's Next? Juan Manuel Marquez. I want to talk about Marquez. What do I see going forward from him in the future? Again, brilliant performance against Mike Alvarado. He took the younger, rangier, bigger man, and he just really schooled him. I like a lot of things that he did. As always, he's an awesome counter puncher, and he capitalizes and make you pay. If you come in crazy, don't come in behind a jab, then you're going to get countered. Even if you do those things, it's still a possibility you're going to get it countered. His hand speed looked to me a lot more like impressive. It looked quicker. He looked quicker, just his fast twitch muscles or his reflexes. He was putting together punches. His combinations were beautiful. And like a true Mexican warrior, he had that body work. And he just, like, if you look at the Leo Santa Cruzes, the Canelos, Chavez Sr., I mean, even Chavez Jr., a lot of great Mexican fighters, they tattoo their body. And that's underrated in the sport of boxing because there's a lot of guys that are tough. Alvarado's rugged. He's tough. But when you go to the body, you take something more out of him than just headhunting. And honestly, I think that's pretty much what dictated the early portion of the fight. He was going to the body. He was going downstairs, upstairs, keeping the younger, more inexperienced Alvarado guessing. And that's good because Marquez is not known as being lightning fast. So if he's mixing up his punches to that point where he's going upstairs, downstairs, splitting through the guard, and he was landing that right like crazy, that keeps someone like Alvarado guessing. That's why he had that kind of high peekaboo type guard for a lot of the fight. Made him gun shy. He wasn't really willing to engage again for that first half of the fight. Another reason for that, in my opinion, is he just took a loss. He was coming off a brutal loss, in fact. And I think the wars, and this is kind of why I predicted Marquez, I mean, not the only reason, but one of the reasons why I predicted Marquez to win. And that's because Alvarado has been through so many wars. He got stopped by Rios, had another tough fight with Rios. Then he got stopped by Ruslan in a more brutal fashion, in my opinion. So he was coming off of that performance, and he wanted to be cautious. But you can't take a legend like Marquez and try to outbox him or make him fight at a comfortable pace. The reason why Pacquiao and Marquez are always wars is because, especially the younger Pacquiao, the more like reckless, throw caution to the wind Pacquiao, is because Pacquiao hits you from all angles. He's fast as fuck. He has speed, power. He's a southpaw, so the punches come from different angles. And he would try to overwhelm Marquez. But Alvarado, in my opinion, fought dumb for the first half of the fight, trying to fight a 40-year-old who's a great tactician and counterpuncher. And he tried to outsmart him almost, kind of like what Canelo did with Mayweather. That's not the right type of fight. You have to come in like a Marcos Maidana and know you're going to get countered to death, pot-shotted. You might even get knocked out. But you have to go out on your shield, especially if you want to dethrone. You have to make some effort to let your hands go without getting too reckless and getting knocked out. Back to Marquez. Longtime fan of Marquez, man. Naturally, I think the Top Rank is going to try to make a Pacquiao 5. I mean, it's big business. The way Marquez has looked, Pacquiao just got his belt back. It just seems like the natural progression for both of their careers. Plus, they have an age-old rivalry, one of boxing's best rivalries, probably the best rivalry of this generation. So I really think that's the next order of business. People are all talking about Pacquiao versus Floyd. Yes, I want to see that fight, but is it likely? Don't think so. Just for the same reason it hasn't been likely for the last 4 or 5 years. Same thing with Pacquiao fighting Broner and all that. I think that's more or less just talk. I don't think they're really anxious to make any of those fights, especially when there are fights that can produce a large amount of money in-house. I think Bob Arum will try to keep everything in-house. Pacquiao, Ruslan, they're stablemates, same trainer. So for the reason it didn't happen last fight, I don't think Pacquiao's going to fight Ruslan either. And for Ruslan and Marquez to me is looking to like cash out, visit his last hurrah type. Like he's paid his dues, he's earned his stripe. So he doesn't want to just fight fights just to be fighting them. He wants to fight when the risk equals the reward. And a Ruslan fight is dangerous. So I really don't see Marquez fighting Ruslan because, or at least first, I think Pacquiao is just the next order of business because why potentially squander that opportunity if Ruslan knocked out Marquez or stopped him or something or knocked him down 3 times and won a decision, anything like that, that's going to affect and potentially hurt Pacquiao versus Marquez 5. So I don't think Top Rank or Marquez want to put Marquez in that position to even have that happen and potentially ruin that type of fight. So, like if you look at Cotto and Martinez, it's a little bit different. Cotto's going out of his comfort zone, going up to 159 to fight Sergio Martinez. So you could be like, oh, he's squandering or potentially ruining the fight with Canelo. Not really, because, I mean, he's going out of his comfort zone, moving up in weight. So even if he loses badly, unless it's like career damaging type of loss, like he gets knocked out brutally and he's never the same or something, you can still make a Canelo and Cotto in the future. That's one of Mexico's biggest stars, Canelo, and that's Puerto Rico's biggest current active star. So that fight can still be made. You can be like, oh, Cotto, he just overextended himself and bit off more than he can chew, so he's moving back down and still make the fight with Canelo. But if you look at a Marquez, if he gets like battered by Ruslan, who's going to want to see Pacquiao 5? You know what I mean? So I think Marquez and Pacquiao 5 is honestly the next order of business. I think Marquez was playing a little bit of hardball in terms of in the past saying after the knockout he wants to leave. For him and his people, he wants to leave that chapter alone. I think he's kind of playing hardball. Probably looking to get more money, or maybe he wasn't interested at the time, but now he wants to make history, be the first Mexican to have division titles in so many, or titles in so many divisions. So I think that's really the next order of business. If it's not any of those fights, then I mean, might as well retire and call it a career. Let me know what you guys think of Marquez and his performance. I liked a lot of stuff he was doing in there. Another thing that he does or did in that fight, which was an awesome veteran move, there were times where the corner was telling Alvarado to come on stronger, and Alvarado was putting together a couple punches. Marquez would back up, but not, he would do it like fluidly, like not just back straight up to get popped, but he would back up and give himself some space to work. So I like that. And I think there's a lot of, it's crazy how these veterans, you look at Marquez, you look at Mayweather, you look at B-Hop, these guys are veterans and they're tactical. And you could see when they fight the different veteran moves and things that they do that some of these young fighters don't necessarily do. Like Mayweather versus Maidana, he kept doing that jab to the body. He was jabbing and stabbing him to the body. Same thing with Marquez. He abused that body early when it should have been the other way around. You got a 40-year-old who he's been through wars. You should attack the body. And Alvarado didn't do that. Marquez did do that. That's one of the reasons that he won. That plus he was just too calculated. Like Marquez, if you want to beat Marquez, in my opinion, it's just like a dance. Marquez is better when someone else is leading and he's following, when his dance partner is leading. So when Pacquiao's coming towards him and coming at him crazy, then he gets his shots off because he's countering the shit out of Pacquiao. But when you make Marquez the aggressor, he's not Ruslan Provodnikov. That's not really his MO. There's certain guys like Gennady Golovkin, Ruslan Provodnikov, Marcos Maidana, them stalking their opponent, Brandon Rios, that benefits them because that's their style of fight. Not everyone fights like that. Marquez is better and more reluctant to stalk. Kind of like if you watch Austin Trout versus Canelo. Austin Trout had to be an aggressor, especially with the open scoring, because he knew he was drastically behind and needed something severe or a knockout or a knockdown to even get back in the fight. So that's not his comfort zone. Austin Trout is slick, and his comfort zone would be when Canelo, I think he was honestly expecting Canelo to come at him crazy and open himself up for opportunities because Canelo was slower than him. But then Canelo used head movement and came out with a different game plan and made Austin Trout stalk him, and Canelo countered him, which was a great game plan from Canelo. Let me know what you guys think of Marquez. What do you want to see from him in the future? I just told you what I want to see. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.